What is up, guys? We have a Yamaha R6 and a Kawasaki ZX6R, so let's talk about it. These are my personal opinions and what I think about the bikes. So this bike is a 2008 Kawasaki ZX6R. Performance upgrade involves a Brembo brake master with DP brake pads, custom front forks. As far as I know, it was a factory Kawasaki custom front forks. Rear suspension is an Öhlins TTX, a full Automotive exhaust, Power Commander 3, quick shifter, high flow air filter, Öhlins steering damper, high acceleration sprocket setup. It has a quick throttle and a lithium battery. And with 5 liters of fuel, bike weighs in at a total of 336 pounds. And here's a few things that really impressed me about this bike. The mid-range grunt on this bike is impressive. I found this bike more forgiving in corner exit. If and when you make a mistake and somehow exit out of a corner at a lower RPM, this bike does not make you pay for those mistakes. It has the grunt at mid-range to accelerate hard out of corners. Braking is superb. This bike brakes much harder than my R6. On top of that, this bike under braking is not as physically demanding due to much larger surface for your pelvic area to brace with. Having said that, this bike is less physically demanding to ride fast. I'm not exactly sure why. Perhaps it's because of the larger gas tank, more room for your legs to brace with mid-corner. And for some weird reason, my body position on this bike is much better than the R6. I can't really explain why, but I just felt more comfortable on this bike. But besides what I've mentioned above, this bike has a huge drawback, for me at least. My biggest issue with this bike is the mid-corner feel. I felt like the bike lacked mid-corner feel, resulting in no confidence opening the throttle as I exit out of a corner. So let's move on to the next bike. This bike is a 2006 Yamaha R6. The performance upgrade involves a Brembo brake master with DP brake pads, Öhlins valving and stiffer springs for the front fork, Elka rear suspension, full Automotive exhaust, ECU flash, high acceleration sprocket setup, Hyper Pro steering damper, high flow air filter. Also comes in with a lithium battery. With 5 liters of fuel, this bike weighs in at 366 pounds. And of course, this bike shines in several areas. When it comes to flickability, this bike is by far much more superior. Its turning is precise and predictable. Mid-corner feel on this bike is amazing. Gives you a lot of confidence to be more aggressive on the throttle for corner exit. Perhaps it's because of the moderate mid-range power. It's less intimidating to be aggressive on the throttle with minimal risk. In terms of power, this bike shines when the rev range is in the higher RPM, like a long straight. Mid-range is lacking, which is good and bad. Good because it's less intimidating to apply the throttle mid-corner. At the same time bad because this bike is gutless and will make you pay when you make a mistake coming out of corner and the RPM is less than ideal. This bike's braking is okay. It's not the most stable under braking and the bike twitches a lot. On top of that, very physical under braking. Because the gas tank has a taper to it, it has a smaller surface area for the pelvic to brace with. So a lot of wear on your arms and shoulder, especially on stop and go track. So on paper, the ZX6R is a much better bike. It has better rear suspension, better front forks, better mid-range grunt, and on top of that, it's much lighter by 30 pounds compared to my R6. But if there's one thing I learned about this experience is that better bike does not always mean faster lap time. Even in the highest level of the sport, in MotoGP, where a rider switched to a presumed better bike, it does not always translate to a better result, especially in the beginning. Like I've mentioned, on paper the ZX6R is a superior bike compared to my current setup R6. The ZX6R offers amazing braking stability, comfortable seating, and great mid-range power, ideal for corner exit. However, for me, it lacked mid-corner feel. Because of this, I have zero confidence opening the throttle mid-corner. This lack of feel really made it difficult for me to ride this bike to its full potential. I'm sure with more suspension adjustment, geometry setting, and seat time, I could possibly tap into the bike's full potential. I know it's not the bike's fault. The bike is fast. The previous owner have won multiple championships on this bike. Overall, I think both bikes are amazing in their own right. It all depends on individual riding style. Some people prefer braking stability, and some, like me, prefers mid-corner feel. Each bike requires different ways of riding to fully utilize its full potential. I heavily favor the R6, and I have to admit, I'm a bit biased. I've been riding the R6 far longer than the ZX6R and have adapted ways to compensate its sweetness. Okay, let's go, boys. So I want you to tell me the truth.
I like the blue.
Okay, so between the blue bike
Blue bike.
or the green bike, which one are you gonna choose?
Blue bike.
Blue bike? What about you, Odin? Which one do you like?
Blue bike.
Blue bike? Do you climb blue bike? What about you, Odin? Why don't you like the green one?
Because it's not stylish to me.
It's not stylish to you? You want to lift it up, Odin? Ooh, what do we have here?
Ooh.
So I gotta get these. Do you know why I gotta get these?
Why?
Huh?
To unlock it?
Well, I gotta transfer it to the other bike. This one's for sale.
That one's for sale?
Yeah, we're gonna sell it.